Hey everyone, I'm Alex Alt. I was the alternate, so I guess that's fitting. But I've played Survivor Rock Creek Park, which is a one-day game in DC. I placed sixth. And then recently, I just played Survivor Fractured in the Catskills, which was a three-day game. I also got sixth. So as much as I want to win, I'm also hoping that I don't get sixth in this game and get a little 666 double satanic back in here. So I am a lobbyist, and before you boo and hiss and throw things at the screen, I lobby for a civil rights organization. So I always say I'm a civil rights lobbyist so that I can kind of cut off some of the worst comments. But basically what I do is I persuade people every day. Usually it's around bill text or fighting for different pieces of legislation or changes to legislation. But really what it's about is making a connection, making an argument, and showing kind of the strategic lay of the land and how it's beneficial for another person to do what you do. And that directly connects to Survivor because you have to build relationships, you have to build trust, and at the end of the day, there's sort of going to be a rubber meets the road moment, right? They'll either introduce the bill you want or they won't. They'll either keep the language you want or they won't. And in Survivor, they're either going to vote with you or they aren't. So I think that sort of interpersonal, high pressure type of job directly translates. Massive. Yeah, watched it as a kid and then, like so many other people, rediscovered it during the pandemic, binged every season, and have been like passionately in the community ever since. So I love Cambodia, Second Chance. I'm rooting that season 50 is also a second chance season. I know it's not people's favorite season on rewatch, but I just think the strategy is Survivor at its best, and that's what I'm here for. In terms of players I want to emulate, I love your Yules, I love your Tashas, I love your Earls, people who make people feel calm, right? Like take the temperature down and make sure that you can connect with people one-on-one. I'm not necessarily looking for, like some deep emotional bonds, but I just want people to feel secure in who they are and in our alliance. I think that's sort of my Survivor superpower. And also, I think it's really potent in a game like this, where people are going to be hungry, people are going to be irritable, and people are going to have a lot of nerves, given that it's a really quick game. So if you can like create that trust and make that circle quickly, I think that's going to really benefit. I mean, the first thing that pops to mind is like Stranded, I think is perfect for me, because if you want to make those bonds and you want to calm people down, you need the environment to be stressing them out. And so being cut off, being alone, kind of not having a phone, not having, sleeping quarters or food, for just a couple days, I think will make people want to find an easy path. And I want to be that easy path. But in terms of game design, I don't know. I think we're going to find out. Typically in Survivor, nowhere to hide means small tribes. Now, I've seen that you want us to bring 4 shirts. I'm sort of guessing that maybe we're going to be in very small tribes to start with and have to figure that dynamic out. Nowhere to hide, though, also is just general enough to, maybe idols aren't as effective. Maybe there's advantages. There's a lot you can do behind that. But, it keeps that paranoia creeping up, which I think is good for me. Yeah, I have a job interview. I am like just trying to get there. So I got the rental car, I got the hotel, I'm taking the trip up from DC, and I've thought a little bit about my previous experiences and what I want out of this. But like, in terms of me being able to run to the woods and practice fire, like it's not happening. So in my mind, I've got a 4-hour drive and a probably pretty anxious Friday night to really think about what I want to come into the game with, and that's it. This is going to be me kind of at my realest and rawest and off the cuff. But I think having a couple games under my belt can really kind of help with that, nerves and first impression. We are now, Susie. We're working together. Oh my God, we found this. Isn't this so amazing for us? I've been wanting to talk to you. I've been so nervous, but now that we have this in our hand, we can do so much with it. I think that's the only way you can play that, at least for me. This is a tough game, right? Like it's 2 days. I don't know how many players are in as of this moment. So there could be very, very quick progress. And I have a feeling that a lot of the strategy, a lot of the social game is going to happen on that walk to tribal. In which case it may be too late to do something. But you can always try to, throw something out there at tribal council. You can try to grab people, you can tell lies, you can form coalitions. There's always a way to play. It's just about whether the goodwill, the trust, the trinkets that you're bringing in let you do that. I think the thing that really attracted me to this game was it's long enough to make those social bonds, but it's also real enough to have those concerns that can seem petty to a viewer, like being hungry, not getting a good night's sleep, like being anxious, still matter. It has time to get to people, affect their decision making, affect how people are feeling in the game. It's gonna happen to me too. I'm not saying I'm above it, but I'm really interested to see kind of who people are in that scenario and who I am in that scenario. Am I gonna have the energy to have that fourth conversation that's really important to try to do the elaborate move? Or am I just gonna fall into the trap of thinking, hey, I think I can get by this tribal council. I'm, mentally exhausted. And yeah, I think that, my biggest strength is that I can form good relationships with people. I come across as genuine and honest, and I know what it takes to build trust. And so I think that people can look at me as a safe option to work with, while also I look and hopefully will be physically competent in the beginning part of the game to not make me that attractive early food for challenges. I think that the danger is, I'm gonna have to go in and lie about my new. I'm gonna have to not show off too much in challenges while also being competent. I'm gonna have to have a lot of one-on-one conversations to really shine. I'm not a social butterfly in huge group situations. Knowing this game is knowing who you're playing with, and I don't know yet. So I don't know what tricks you have, and I don't know the general dynamic. But I'm hoping, based on my LRG experience, that we're a cast full of dramatic, anxious, big personalities, right? And I think if that's the case, I have hopefully some space and time to look a little bit more boring in contrast, develop those bonds, and then get to where I can really rock this game. I mean, I view all of Survivor as sort of that original, what are the norms that this group is enforcing, right? And I want to be purely within those, both for my own personal moral compass, but also because I think that's just the smart way to play. And so I'm hoping that this group is all giving themselves permission to play really hard, to lie and deceive, but I'm not going to try to gain a competitive edge by breaking people down or attacking who they are or doing any of that sort of thing. And I'm hoping that people understand we want to make this experience meaningful and fun. Let's do the things that we see on TV. Let's fully embrace the experience, but maybe we don't need to just be horrible. If somebody burns my sleeping bag, I'll be upset. I think you're gonna see empathy. I think you're gonna see strategy, and I think you're gonna see a little bit of a twinkle in my eye. I think that there will be, in the beginning part of the game, a little bit of lurking in the background, and I hope that I get the chance to turn it on, because that to me is the most fun part of Survivor, when sort of you've been under the radar and then you can submerge and kind of show, actually, I'm good at these challenges. I understand people, and I'm ready to win this game. And so I hope I hope I laid the groundwork enough to really get that rocket launch.
Awesome. Well, will Alex survive being stranded? Time will tell. Thank you.
Thank you.